Right. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about at a conference about another conference. That doesn't sound terribly exciting. However, to say that it was a great conference, I think for a little bit of an understatement, we had a fantastic conference in person, which was kind of one of the big ups for us. The second reason it was fantastic for me personally was I was able to prequel it with a honeymoon. So this is from my honeymoon in Colorado, which was fabulous. The theme of the conference was level up. And this was me doing some elevation up in the Rocky Mountains, which if you've never been, go to Colorado. It's amazing. So that's the big sell on Colorado. There's the big sell on me, showing off the banners which we've left in the other room, which were made in America. Eilish is so slick that she managed to get banners ready for Kohacon in Lawrence, Kansas, which was where the conference itself was, which was really exciting. I'm going to very quickly talk about what presentations were given, and I'm going to highlight some that I think are particularly interesting that you might want to go and check out. So when we send these slides out, all of the links work. You go straight to YouTube, straight to slides for whatever's on these slides. We had some great stuff from PTFS Europe customers, which was great to get their contributions. Matthew from the King's funded. If you've ever seen Matthew do a presentation before, he's great value. He really is great value, and he did a sterling Matthew presentation at Kohacon. And of course, we had Tudu, as she mentioned earlier. She was one of our live. Not pre-recorded, one of our live sort of beamed in virtually to the conference. So that was really fantastic. And then Jesse and Kelly from Bywater did a really interesting presentation about training the trainer. So this is if you've got changing library staff, if you've got people that you need to keep refreshing the training with. There were some really good tips and tricks in here about keeping things fresh, about putting together good documentation for the team, and products that you can use to help you with delivering cascade training. So if you're in a bigger organization or if you have churn in the staff, then there's some really good material in this presentation that I think will help you out with that. There was lots of new features stuff being presented. Andrew Isherwood, who I mentioned earlier, did a great presentation with David from the University of Hearts on an integration that they've done between, or that Andrew's done, supported by Hearts, between Koha and Rapid ILL, the interlending platform. If any of you use or are thinking about using Rapid ILL, then definitely check out that video to see how that integration works, because it's been a big up point for Hearts. In terms of managing their interlending. And David gives some great preamble about why as an institution it made a lot of sense, both for doing Rapid ILL, but then also working with us on the integration between the two systems. We've seen a lot about ERM, so I'll skip over that. Janet, thank you very much. I thought a slide presentation without some nice images of Kansas wouldn't be a good slide presentation about a conference overseas, so here we are. We've got flags at half-mast because the day before the conference was the Queen's funeral, and for the whole morning period that we had here, America flew all their flags at half-mast as well, so that was quite nice. And everybody who heard your accent, the first thing they said to you wasn't, "Do you know the Queen?" which is the normal American thing to say, but "We're so sorry for your loss." So that was kind of the way that all conversations started. This here in Kansas City, is this amazing Union Station building. So people say Kansas and they think about two things: flat prairie land and Dorothy. Well, actually, there's a lot to see in Kansas, and that's one of the beautiful things. And then if you're, like my husband, a fan of the Chiefs, then there's loads and loads and loads of stuff about American football. More on sport in a minute. Right, detailed functionality. I was talking to somebody earlier about enhancing OPACs in Koha, and so this was another great presentation. And then working on your cover flow was another very interesting presentation. So just to pull a few slides out of those, Jesse and Lucas gave quite, say it's technical. It was technical and accessible for somebody like me who's non-technical, Matthew over there as well. So it was really understandable about how some simple things that you can do to work with your OPAC and to use CSS and some tips and tricks to just improve your design, but also make your design accessible and how you keep it relevant for different sorts of patrons that you might have. Using Bootstrap, which is inbuilt into Koha now, to enhance the way that your OPAC looks. So there's lots of really good stuff in there. And stuff about personalizing your site. And we've just had that from Matthew, actually, using your sort of brand that you have for your OPAC to extend across your brand elsewhere in your library base, your library itself, your communications, or vice versa, taking your branding that you've got elsewhere and extending it into your library catalog. So there was some good stuff there. And then in terms of enhancing the cover flow or the carousel-y stuff, then Barbara gave this presentation about all of the work that they did to sort of, this is a Koha, this isn't an aspen, but it kind of looks like an aspen. So there was some aspenization of the Koha OPAC being done, which was all very interesting to see. In terms of bolt-ons, and another conversation I was having earlier with somebody about, it was Rob talking about how they were very excited about getting into plugins. So this section is all about things that you can connect to or add on to your Koha. So Twilio was interesting. This was about connecting to effectively a phone system so that they are able to send out their notifications via a phone call automatically. So can you remember what the region was? I forgot what the region was. Somewhere in America, where they have a lot of notifications, and they have been picking up the phone and phoning their patrons. That's one of their ways of doing their notifications. Well, now they have a phone system that does it automatically. Koha just integrates, and Koha makes an Alexa-sounding person phone the patrons up instead. And that's working really well because they've recognized they have a lot of users who don't use SMS, don't use email, and actually receiving a phone call is how they want to be notified. So it reaches some of the harder to reach groups, but does it in an automated way. So that was really interesting. Plugins, Rob, this is the presentation you need to check out. So Kelly did this amazing presentation going through all of the Koha, well, not all, but a lot of the Koha plugins, talking about how they're used, how you install them, how you get them going, how you manage plugins in Koha. So if you've ever sort of drifted towards plugins and then backed away, then there's a wee presentation to help you out there. Here we are, here's some of it. I flashed over that, there we go. That's plugins page, how you manage them. If you've never seen that, then check it out and then look at this video and that'll help you get going. Metabase, so we haven't really talked about Metabase today. Metabase is another open source system that we support. And some of you use it. It's an analytics platform, it's an analytics tool. And this presentation was really insightful. So we thought we did a good demo. Justin did like an amazing sort of, this is how we actually use Metabase in our library, and it's brilliant type of a video. So if you use Metabase or have yet Metabase and don't use it enough, check out Justin's tips because he really, it was great. I was able to give him a reciprocal tip though, so I was proud of myself. So this is a Metabase dashboard, and you can share Metabase dashboards. You can get them emailed out to people. You can embed them in websites. And I showed him how he could embed this public dashboard that they have in their Aspen. So he was using a link to click out to the dashboard, and I showed him how to embed it in his Aspen OPAC. I felt like I'd contributed. A map. so to follow the theme of the day, and actually to talk about some more data, open data type ideas, this presentation from Raymond, for me, was one of the most inspiring presentations, actually, that we saw in the whole 4 days that we were there. He was talking about how, and he was talking about any analytics platform. It could be Metabase, it could be Power BI, it could be whatever you have that you use. But he was talking about getting value out of data that's available. Data that's available in your library system, data that's available elsewhere, and how you bring the things together and then turn that into real powerful value. This was an example from how they used their data in their library system to look at what happened during COVID. And it's kind of similar to what David was showing us earlier. So this is kind of by postcode area or whatever they have, their membership active users. So it's kind of clustered around library locations, I think. Then they entered the medieval period, so that was their lockdown, and everything just dropped off a cliff. And then in the background, Bywater Solutions and PTFS Europe and other support companies around the world were working with libraries on, well, how do we get people to get their resources? So curbside collection was born, and this was where it started to pick up again. They started to get active users again because they'd introduced curbside collection, and they were able to look at the date that they introduced that service and then track how quickly it brought users back into being able to access the service. So it was like really powerful use of the data. And then this was even more powerful because this was taking data from two systems. This is taking data from the library system, and this is mapping that together with data from their local, they call it their equity focus areas, but we would call it our deprivation index data. And they were mapping the two sets of data, and they were looking for correlation between library usage and deprivation area, and they were able to then target events. So they were able to say, right, okay, we're clearly not reaching that area. Let's go and do a join your library event in that area. And then they were mapping the result of that event in terms of pickup in membership and use. So I think this is like some of what David was saying, like writ large, and let's go and do some of this. So that was good. That's exciting. Oh, that's me. So, yeah, we did some corny stuff, like find frozen custard that had my name on it. So that was fun. And we also, you've got to do something cultural. So the cultural day on this conference was to go to the baseball. And I don't know whether this is, I'm hoping this is going to work. So somebody once said to me that baseball's a boring game, but so if you didn't see, I can play it again, but he hit the guy that threw the ball at him. That was the only exciting part of the game. We were there for how many hours, Jonathan? 3 hours. The beer. So I bought 3 beers and spent $50 on 3 beers. And $50 equals £50 at the moment. Just saying. That stopped working. So let's see if we can move on. Oh, no, we don't want to play it again. Stop. We've seen that. How do I get it to move forward, Jonathan? Oh, there we go. Right, the Koha community. Tudu gave us a great presentation earlier about the Koha community, so I'm moving on too fast. About the Koha community, so I'm not going to labor the point here. There are ways of getting involved in the Koha community. We did a bit of a sort of a high-level thing about what next for Koha, because we've a little bit felt that the Koha, so we is Bibli Bywater Solutions and PTFS Europe, have been worried that this is a big system. We need to keep maintaining it. We need to keep making it relevant and growing it. And it's like 20 years old as well. So in product terms, well, it's not mature, surely not, because we've still got stuff to do. But we need more help and we need more resource to do that. And so this was a bit of a, how can we motivate the community, the developer community, to keep investing in this product, to keep helping libraries to make it better, to support libraries to get involved, helping us to make it better. The stuff Tudu's was talking about earlier. So that was good. Saving kittens and supporting Koha. We had dogs earlier. We've got kittens now. Yeah, this is about some work that Catalyst do with local young people, and they get them involved in sort of almost like code hack fests in their geography, to get them interested in open source and to get them to have a little go at fixing some things in Koha. And there are some tools in Koha that make that easy. So there are bugs that are specifically labeled as Academy bugs, so that you can go on and you can look for Academy bugs and know that they're really easy. I haven't done one yet, so the bar's not quite low enough for me. But they're really an easy way to get in, and that's getting young people motivated in looking at open source, thinking about coding, and it's a great initiative for something like Koha to be involved in. That's an Academy bug. And then getting involved in the Koha community. This is the presentation Tudu mentioned earlier that Jesse and Kelly and Nick gave about ways in. So this is like a toolbox for how you get into using Bugzilla, a little bit of a guide, a how-to. So definitely also a little useful presentation to look through. We haven't done one of those here. So anyway, that was us. And it was thanks to Koha US. Koha US were name checked earlier because they do the SIGs. They did a fab job of organizing the thing for us, so it was great. And I'm hoping this is going to work. But next Kohacon is in Helsinki, and that's not going to work. There we go. Damn. We'll find a way of playing you a vid. Where is it, Jonathan? It won't work. Right.
You need to rewind it, actually.
No, I think we're at the start. So we did go out. We did go to a bar. I should say that Lawrence is a university town, so the bar was absolutely hopping with university students. We were the only people in the bar. For some reason the sound's gone off. Oh, so the picture. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, you're missing out. What's happened? Why wouldn't you want to go to a Kohacon if you can do that? It's in Helsinki next year. Quickly back to my slides. It's in Helsinki next year, and we had a little prequel. And one thing, developer-y for the Kohacon 23. Koha is written, a lot of Koha is written in Perl, and the Helsinki folk are also the key movers and shakers in the Perl open community, and they're bringing the two conferences together. So it's a real opportunity for the communities to actually get some real engine going between the Perl community and the Koha community and seeing where it goes from there. So it could be a new era for Koha being born out of this joint conference. So we're quite excited about Kohacon 23. I hope that was useful. I appreciate it's slides of slides, but I hope I've given you some pointers. I'll share all those slides. So all the links take you straight to presentations and stuff if you're interested in any of the content. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.